is Friday night. Hurricane Delta made landfall about 30 minutes away, or 30 minutes ago. So we can see here where I am, the southern part of Louisiana. The wind is starting to pick up. It's been raining non-stop for since yesterday. Actually, the rain began. I know it's kind of dark and you can't really see much, but you can see the wind. It's Saturday morning, so I am stepping outside right now to take a look around and see the impact from Hurricane Delta on the garden, and see how that fared. Hey, just a few things were tossed around here, not much, and I am so surprised. The wind was very strong last night, but I am very thankful. Just a few things tossed around, trash can knocked over. This was tossed around because this was actually over here. Okay, over here it's not too bad. Things are pretty much still in place. There's just some water buildup. Of course, we'll dump this out. A pot that was knocked over. I am so excited. Look at this. The tomato plant is still intact. It was pushed over. I'm happy it did not snap. There's one little branch there that snapped, but it's still intact. I'm gonna have to put something in to support it probably, but it looks like the tomatoes that were growing, they're still here. So all of this is okay. We have the sage and the basil fell over. We'll pick that up, but this is all good on this side. Okay, over here, everything was basically knocked over on this side. These are some smaller hedges I purchased on clearance. Those were knocked over. I just need to pick those up. And here, these are containers with these plastic towers. I usually plant cucumbers and green beans in these. They were knocked over, so I'll clean that up. Some of the trees, the fruit trees that had not been transplanted yet, were knocked over. But let's look at the, whoa, look here. Okay, blood orange tree. The blood orange is still there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Even here, it does not look like any of the fruit was knocked off the trees. Everything is still here. The lemons are still here. So I'm excited about this, very happy. I was really concerned about that. The persimmon tree was knocked over. The two that were growing, they're still intact. So I'll pick this up and put that in place. We do have some limbs down in the yard. Just a few, not too many, just a few. Surprisingly, these pepper plants are still intact. Some of the peppers were blown off. I can see here where the stems were broken, and some of the stems blew off because there were some peppers here. There are still peppers, thankfully. Look at that. But I do see where some did blow away. Now let's take a look at this plant. Okay, so this snapped. This plant snapped. Oh, it snapped completely off, in fact. And it does have peppers, so I'll pick these. And everything else is kind of still intact. Still intact. I'm very thankful. Let's take a look at what's going on inside. Now, there's not much planted right now. I'm in a transition phase. I pulled out a lot of things to get ready to plant for some of those cool season crops. So a lot of the beds are empty now. But here I planted more green beans. They had actually just started to grow. So the bamboo supports have blown over, but the plant is still wrapped around the supports. I see the tomatoes there. Looks like they're still intact. This tomato plant's kind of almost done. Trying to get a few more tomatoes before it gets too cold, but the tomatoes are still there. It's very strong okra. It's still intact. I'm thankful about that. This fell over. This was stuck in the ground. It fell over. I can see the branches of this tomato plant. The wind kind of blew them over because they're curved to the right. Let's see. These bell peppers are all still intact. I recently planted some potatoes here. So those that have not come up yet, they're still in the ground. But this is empty. This side is empty. I can see where some of the leaves of the okra kind of really took a beating from the wind. But the plant themselves are still here. This container was blown over. And I recently planted some broccoli and cabbage in these containers outside of the garden. And they all look good. So I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all so far. So overall, we fared very well. I'm thankful. We are out of power. We lost power at about 9 o'clock last night. And we are still out of power this Saturday morning. It's around, I think it's a little after 9 right now, Saturday morning. So we're still out of power. According to news reports, 500,000 people in Louisiana are out of power. So I do live in southern Louisiana, capital city. We were not directly in the eye. We were kind of on the outer perimeters of the storm. And I'm very thankful that most of the things are still intact. Oh, I even see this flower that grew on the okra plant is still intact. I usually come out and put a lot of effort into just prepping my garden for storms. And this time I was just tired. I was really tired and I didn't feel like dealing with it. And I said, whatever happens, happens. I'll just have to deal with it. So there's not much to deal with. I'm very thankful.